Here's number 3. Let's try this one. Write this as a fraction. So how do we take that repeating decimal? You can see that it repeats the 279, 279 forever. So how do we write that as a fraction? Let's go through the steps. So step number 1. Separate the fixed and repeating parts, right? So the fixed is the point, well here, let me back up a little bit. All right, so the fixed is the 0.48. And the repeating, careful here, you got to go 00279 bar, don't you? You got to have the zeros in the front because that way if you added those, it really would go back, right? Don't forget about the zeros. All right, step number 2. Write as fractions, write them as fractions, and then specifically, write them as fractions. The number of digits in the repeating, the number of digits that are repeating equal the number of 9s in the denominator, but also number of zeros after the decimal equal number of zeros after the 9s again in the denominator, right? So grab the 0.48. That's easy. That's just 48 over 100 because he ends in the hundredths place, right? That's how we would even say it. Remember when we did the other homework assignment where we had to write the words? That's 48 hundredths, isn't it? So we just make that 48 over 100. That's what it is as a fraction. Plus, now how do we do this one? Well, we have 279. So that's going to go over 3 9s. 279 over 3 9s because the number of digits in the repeating pattern is the number of 9s. So we have 3 digits repeating, 3 9s in the denominator. And then we have to tack on 2 zeros because of the 2 zeros. 3 digits here mean the 3 9s. So there we go. Is that getting easier? Does that make sense how that works? Those 2 zeros, the 2 zeros here, move it back 2 places, right? When you multiply the bottom of a fraction by 100, that's what this really just did. Those 2 zeros, that was like multiplying the bottom by 100, moving it back 2 places. That's what moves this decimal back 2 places, right? If I just had 279 over 999, that would just be 0.279 bar forever. But when you add 2 zeros, that moves the decimal back 2 places. Perfect. All right, now we have to add with a common denom. So we got to add these together. It's a little terrible with a common denominator. 48 over 100, add 279 over 99900. So how are we going to add those with a common denominator? You see what I need to multiply this guy by, top and bottom, to make him the same as the other denominator? He's already got the 2 zeros at the back. So it's just 999, isn't it? Like that. And so use your calculator. This is obviously far too difficult to do in our head here. 999 times 48, so I'm getting 47,952 over 99900 plus 279 over 99900. Put it all together. I'm getting 48,231 over 99900. There it is. You can check it. That's the great thing. You can check it on your calculator, right? Check it. Just take 48,231 divided by 99900. Hit the buttons. I'll do it too. Divided by 99900. I'm getting 0.48279. My calculator actually rounds the last spot to 28. That's just rounding though. It really is 279s forever. So you know it's right. That's the great thing. You can find out if you're right or not by just checking it at the end. So there it is. There's the whole process. That was a pretty tough one. So there it is. So you separate the decimal into the fixed part and the repeating part. And then the trick is how to handle the repeating. The number of nines, we have 3 digits repeating 279, so 3 nines down below, but then 2 zeros in front. Stick the 2 zeros in the bottom, and then we add them with a common denominator. Questions on that one?